Pearson Rabbit's story begins with Dr. Stephanie Pearson, a passionate OB/GYN at the height of her career. But when a shoulder injury struck during a precipitous delivery, her dreams were shattered, leaving her unable to practice medicine. Determined to make a difference, Stephanie became an advocate for her peers, guiding them through the complex disability process. Alongside insurance expert Scott Ravitz, Stephanie founded Pearson Ravitz, a company determined to approach insurance differently. Together, they set their mission to educate and empower physicians to protect their most valuable asset, their income, and the most important people in their life, their family.
Today, Pearson Ravitz serves the medical community in all 50 states. At Pearson Ravitz, they understand the unique concerns of physicians. Physician-founded and physician-focused, Pearson Ravitz builds human connections before they create quotes. Life can change in an instant. It's hard to imagine that a sudden illness or injury could leave you and your family in a devastating financial situation. But with a little planning and guidance, you can prepare for every possibility. Visit PearsonRavitz.com today to schedule your consultation with the Pearson Ravitz advisor.
Finally, a source of raw, real, and honest information on healthcare issues that matter most. Welcome to BS Free MD. From the latest medical information to how to stay sane as a doctor or a patient, no subject is taboo, no BS is allowed. Now, let's welcome your hosts, Doctors May and Tim Hindmarsh.
We are live from somewhere in northern California, so I hope the sound is okay. If someone's listening, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So I'm using my mic. May is paying for our dinner, and then I think she's going to get on. I'm going to go turn her feed on in her car because, of course, everyone has to drive the other car. Loading this trailer was unbelievably intense. I would not recommend it. The last time we moved, which was only 6 months ago, I swore I'd never move myself again, and I lied to myself, which all of us are sometimes fond of doing. Anyways, I'm getting a raging 8.8 miles to the gallon in the U-Haul, and I must admit, they gave me a new one. So major shout out to these U-Haul guys, because it's actually a pretty comfortable car for what it is. A gigantic box. Oh, I don't know. Well, let's go. Well, obviously no cocktails because I'm driving. But I did have some nice iced tea dinner, which was good, amongst other things I had. I don't know how truckers, if they eat like this, stay awake on the road. It's crazy. Back on the I-5. So we're going to do drive into Sacramento tonight, which is not bad, 502 miles. Probably break up the entire trip in 500-mile segments because driving a U-Haul is so much fun. And in California, because we're going to this concert, you can only, if you're towing, which of course I'm towing because I'm towing my Harley, you can only go 55 miles an hour. So that means you could go just barely over that without getting into a tremendous amount of trouble, which I don't want to do. So anyways, I should weigh this thing and see how much it actually weighs. That would be hilarious. Waiting for trucks to turn left and not take me out. We're in the middle of absolutely nowhere, about 95 miles, no, more than that, 150 miles north of Sacramento. But this, good Lord, this guy's pulled over on the side of the road and then just pulls out in front of me in a semi. It's like, please pay some attention. Ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to try to get May in here now. There you are. You got it. You got the technology to work.
Well,
okay, so now we can
start. You did that while we were pulling out from a truck stop. But anyway, I obeyed the traffic laws first, and then I turned on my camera.
I obeyed the traffic laws and was merging onto the I-5, and some guy just decided that he needed to turn left in front of me because he had finished scratching his nutsack or whatever he was doing. whatever truckers do when they're stopped on the side of the highway and not in an actual parking. So,
I saw that.
Beats me.
Well, I don't know if anybody's watching, but if it's just you and I chatting, creating some audio and some stupid video for the team, so be it. So we just pulled over in somewhere in Northern California for dinner, where the gas is $5.30. Diesel was what, $6.20, and yeah, we are on our way to Sacramento. It's sunny, and it's still 91 degrees at 6 o'clock, 6:15. I'm happy because it's warm. And what else can I say? Blue skies, and the driving's been good so far today. Although sitting this long is no fun when you're our age. We got some great views.
Yeah, I actually don't.
I was going to say, we got some great views of Mount Shasta today, Lake Shasta. There was some, do you see the houseboats in there? That was nice. And going through the mountain pass in Southern Oregon and California was perfect. So,
yeah, it absolutely stuns me how many semis come over the Siskiyou Pass. Like, it was just absolutely wall-to-wall trucks. And it's like, I'm sitting there thinking, man, we got to figure out a better way to transport stuff than having these poor guys lugging this stuff over. But I guess there's really no other way.
not unless you invent some spaceship. Maybe Elon will do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's wild. But this is, we're now into the part of driving in California where it's essentially 100% straight for about 700 miles. And then you hit Los Angeles. So you go from absolutely boring to 100% abject terror. Because, of course, driving a U-Haul with a trailer in Los Angeles is just super duper fun. But, you know.
I'd say driving anything in Los Angeles. Driving anything in Los Angeles is not very super duper fun. I don't care what it is. But we're doing it all for one reason, Tim. What is the reason we're going this direction?
We're going this direction because we need to see Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses, Judas Priest, Tool, Metallica, and AC/DC. What other reason do you need? Honestly.
I mean, I could name a few, but I'll just let you have this one, and I'm going to chalk it up to you owe me.
Yeah,
you're coming to Pentatonics with me at Christmas time in Sarasota.
Okay. You might have to wake me up halfway through.
You can sleep. You can sleep, but you're coming.
Well, remember that time you took me to what was that, Maroon 5, and I fell asleep?
No, it wasn't Maroon 5. It was the Bach Festival, wasn't it?
No, I fell asleep at the Bach Festival. I fell asleep at Maroon 5.
Yeah,
it was okay. It was. I actually started dozing off at a Mastodon concert. We were right at the very front. I got mocked mercilessly for that. I think I had pre-gamed a little too hard before that show. So,
wow. So it was weird leaving town this morning. I wrote it in the newsletter. I dictated it into the phone. So Siri translated it and typed it all up for Desiree to send out to you all. So there were some things I got mixed up in the translation. I tried to be succinct and enunciate all my vowels and words like a British person. But anyway, the gist was that we stayed at friends the last 2 nights. As we drove back into town early this morning because it was cloudy and rainy. It was beautiful because there was a break in the clouds, and it always seemed to be sunny in town in Sweet Home where we lived when it was crummy and cloudy everywhere else. And it really spoke to me. It was a beautiful sunny morning, and I felt really weird. It was like when your kids go through their last stuff in high school or college. It was like, okay, this is our last time driving through here as like residents of this town and of Oregon, and it was bizarre. I had this whole it's my last whatever on meeting. And even as we drove through town and then drove into the country back where we used to live out, and drove past our home, that was kind of bizarre too. But I just got all these weird vibes about this was the last drive through. And then I just really, it was an emotional morning saying goodbye to our best friends we've known them for almost 30 years, right? And raised our kids together and all the ups and downs in life we've done together. And they literally gave us their blood, sweat, tears, skin off their bodies, helping us. Let's just say it's helpful to have a best friend who's worked loading big rigs, because I don't know if anyone else could have Tetrised that U-Haul the way Dave did.
No. Plus, he's like a chimpanzee jumping on top of all the boxes.
I said
and
that.
packing them. I'm like, the guy's like 2 months older than me, and you can bend him like a frickin' Gumby. It's ridiculous. Like you shouldn't be that flexible.
I think his strength to power weight ratio is huge. I nominate him to go on the next Ninja Warrior in the seniors competition.
Right. So maybe
anyway,
they have the golden bachelor now. Maybe they can have the golden ninja. That'd be cool.
He would win it. But honestly, I was just really thankful for that. And, I dumped so much stuff onto my girlfriend's front porch last night. All my Christmas decorations, literally. I went through those things in, it felt like 15 minutes, probably 30 at the most. Picked out the most important ones. I dumped everything. Food.
You mean you picked out
stuff?
None.
What?
You picked out the most important Christmas decorations, being none.
I want to give you the finger right now, but I won't. No, the stuff the kids made when they were little, and their little decorations and things, and their stockings, that kind of stuff. But the rest.
Well, that reminds me of our the Christmas stocking story. I love it. So, our friend who played college football, who lives in Austin, whose name is Richard, and he comes home from college, 1 year with a bunch of his football friends, and it's Christmas time, and all the stockings are up, and of course they're the stockings that are up, since they were like, essentially babies. It's the same ones because his mother puts them up, and so he brings all his football player friends there, and his stocking is up, and it's L.I.L. Dicky, Little Dicky. So his friends grilled him mercilessly, and of course for that one, in my phone when he calls me, Little Dicky comes up.
I wonder if
you can't beat that.
Wonder if he's listening now.
I don't know. He can chime in if he does.
Well, that's another good friend who helped you unload a U-Haul one other time, right?
No, that was unbelievable. When I moved our daughter to Austin, and he came and helped, and I was just like, there's no way in the world we'd have got that thing unloaded, because we had to move a bed and a couch and all this up to the second floor of this apartment building, and it was absolutely ridiculous. Of course, it's May, it's Austin, it's 85 degrees and 60% humidity. I remember I took a picture of myself before I took a shower, and Richard dropped me off at the airport, and my shirt was exactly as wet as if I would have jumped into a.
Wow. Yeah,
it was wild. 2 hours we unloaded that thing.
I'm thinking we shouldn't talk anymore about our traveling adventures with U-Hauls, because people aren't going to want to be friends with us because they'll think they're going to get roped into loading a U-Haul or unloading it with us. Any friends in the Sarasota greater area, if you're listening, we need help unloading. Hint, hint.
Yeah, anyone in Sarasota or Manatee County, come and join us on the 17th.
Or Tom, if you want a discount on that trailer, maybe you could just help us unload, and
Well,
just pay you.
the discount is I'm delivering the trailer to Orlando, but it is yeah, I'm sure that the HOA at the gated community is going to want to have this 26-foot U-Haul with a trailer on it sitting in someone's yard for 3 days.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's going to go over awesome.
Maybe you could just park it at the country club parking lot where the golf course is, beside all the golf carts.
Well, no, I would park it in the course champions parking spot.
Of course, we are the champions of the cross country road trip, don't you think?
I mean, exactly.
Corner to corner, almost. If we had lived in Seattle or Bellingham, it would have been better. But this is good enough.
Yes.
Well, let's not get too excited until the trip is done, because we're just at the beginning. But prayers are appreciated, really, for an uneventful trip, because we've had enough events. We have a smooth running, new to us Escalade to tow another trailer, and we got everything checked, and we hope that we have no big breakdowns or problems. And so prayers really are appreciated for safe and smooth travels across the U.S. So that's what you guys can do to help us. Yeah.
I can't read the comments because my phone's too far away and I have to switch glasses, and then I can't see the highway.
Oh, well, you're the host, so I don't get to see any comments. So what we'll have to do is, if you guys are commenting, we will reply later tonight when we're stopped and respond. So if there's...
I'm behind a U.S. mail truck, and I can't pass it yet because the left lane is plugged. But that U.S. mail truck, I swear to you, has a GPS governor, because it is going exactly 55. It's not going 54. It's not going 56. It's going exactly 55.
Perfect. Well, why don't you just go exact? That's interesting.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
Yeah, it's wild. Well, the left lane is completely plugged up with a million cars, so I can't get around it. I have to. I just have to be patient.
Better gas mileage.
Yes.
So
we're getting a raging 8.8 miles to the gallon, though. That's awesome.
That is great, I guess. I want to know if anybody's got any good U-Haul stories. They could email them to us. That would be fun. And then maybe we can read them at our next Doctales, which will be in a week from now. I'm guessing that we will be in Texas. Actually, we're supposed to be in Texas in a week from now. So that would be kind of fun to be able to do that from Texas. And I don't know, are we going to do any lives along the way? This is kind of fun. I guess we could.
Well, now that we have the technology figured out, I mean, the first 5 minutes of this, 5 or 10 minutes of this is just idiotic. It's me jumping in and out of a truck trying to make it work. So that will be edited out for the audio version. So it's just not like, because nothing says high quality broadcast like a blank screen of just an empty chair, empty seat and steering wheel,
That's real high quality right there.
High quality entertainment right there.
So, any other last thoughts or observations on leaving Oregon?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we process this stuff so totally differently. I mean, for me, it took a really long time to get to the point of, let's pull the pin. And the hardest part was leaving our forever house, because, we built that exactly how we wanted. And it was a really awesome property. We had really cool neighbors. You could shoot guns in the backyard. Before we cut the trees down that we had, we were, we had 2/3 of a mile of motocross track on it. I mean, it was really an amazing place. So giving that property up was hard for me, but once we made the decision and I was convinced of it, then it's absolutely no turning back. It's like, it's just like, this is, I don't know how long we'll stay. I don't know if it'll be the rest of our lives. I don't know if it'll be 2 years. I don't know, but I know we absolutely are supposed to do this now. That's all I know. Nothing else. And I have no big, feeling like everything's just going to be so amazing. Like, some stuff will be better, some stuff will be worse, but it's what we're supposed to do. And that's kind of how life is. And, we seem to make friends fairly easily. Okay, I'm changing lanes and passing this guy. He's driving me absolutely insane. We'll make. I think we'll make friends, and if not, I'll have no friends, and I'll be in my.
I'm not worried about that.
Fine with me.
Stop. No, it just made me miss. I thought, I relived, what we went through in Canada. Although when we were in Canada and when we moved, all our friends were scattered because everybody had graduated college. People were doing different things professionally. They were all over the place. So everybody had already scattered anyway, right, at that point. So leaving was different because we were in Edmonton for the last 2 years just doing our training. It's not like we left a big community of people. But I, still miss our friends that are all over the place. And so this time I felt like the same thing. It's like, now I'm going to have this long distance relationship with our friends, but I think it will be different because 30 years is a lot longer than whatever we spent in Canada. So I think we will be
29 years. Yeah, 29 years because I turned 30 just after we moved, but it doesn't count because the first 2 years of me living in Canada, I was still shitting my pants. So that whole childhood stuff, the thing that's crazy and what's way harder about leaving is we raised our kids with these people. That's a really wild thing to give up, to change, that's a really big deal. Those relationships where, your children grew up together, they went to school together, they competed with each other, they competed against each other. They, that's just a really different kind of loss.
Yeah.
And,
okay, well, I'm turning around at the next, cop turnaround site here, and I'm going back.
Yeah, well, good for you, because I'm not.
You could take all the shit that's in the back of that U-Haul. At least my Peloton's at home. Should we talk about that? How much stuff we had to leave at home?
Well,
we are going back.
We had to leave one completely full 10 by 10 unit, and then 2 units with cars in it. The one unit that's still the 10 by 10 is full, but it's not really full. We could have stacked more stuff in there, but instead we just put it in a unit with one of the cars. And we always planned on coming back in 6 months to move the cars. So I guess we'll be moving a whole bunch of crap that we left there. I thought we got rid of about 2/3 of the books we had. We gotta have 20,000 pounds of books.
We got rid of 80% of the books we had. We still have a lot of books because we had over our library. If anybody saw it in the podcast that we did initially, we had over 1,000 books themselves, and so we have a few books that we kept. So that's a lot of books, and then there's the photo albums and pictures and stuff from your parents. That's important. So we still have a lot. But then there's other stuff we just couldn't bring, the kids, one child's stuff from childhood, and then a bunch of other things that we can live without. My Peloton, I'm sad because it didn't get to come, but the Top Fuel Dragster tires did. That I blame on Nate. I blame that on Nate.
No. There's not 2 Top Fuel Dragster tires. You need to be honest, woman, when you speak to the public. There's one Top Fuel Dragster tire, and there's one NASCAR tire that came off Jeff Gordon, the Beloved's car. So, get it right.
And my Peloton got left behind.
Right.
Because he said, you haven't been using it anyway. So there you go.
But there is a reason. The reason is we thought we could get absolutely all of our stuff in the U-Haul. So that stuff happened to be loaded first, and it is tucked away nicely and not really taking up that much space. But, that's why it came.
That's the most shittiest excuse ever. You know why? Because he's got to tell you, stuff was tucked away nicely in that U-Haul, perfectly closed up like a Tetris cube. And then Tim said Monday night when David finished his expertise packing, I left the tickets to the concert inside the U-Haul. So guess what happened Tuesday morning?
Unpacking
A U-Haul and Tim climbing in looking for tickets to the concert.
Yeah, no, we didn't unpack a U-Haul. We took out 4 pieces of furniture, and I crawled in there, and I weaseled my hand into the little drawer and felt the tickets and retrieved them with my baby delivering skills. It was unbelievable.
Anyway, that was a big $600 save. I'll give you that, but I don't know that rubber that's in there, man. Whatever. You're gonna be sitting on that by the pool.
I always travel with rubber, and I have 2 rubbers, one NASCAR and one drag race. You can't beat that.
Well, you're gonna have fun by yourself with your rubber.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's nothing like keeping it appropriate. Well, I guess I got to take off my sunglasses now because it's not sunny anymore.
The sun is setting, and I don't know. Maybe this podcast should too.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. I mean, it's almost surreal in a way. Like I was kind of like, okay, I guess we're going, and we actually met the correct day for leaving, which is almost a miracle. Because man, we had too much stuff. Like, I don't know what's going to happen when we come back. Maybe there'll be a whole bunch of stuff that we just don't take.
Well, someone I know has the keys to that thing, and maybe they will silently auction it all off, and it'll be gone when we get back.
Yes, but my Jeff Gordon Pepsi machine front glass will be coming.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants it but you. That's why.
Oh no, I could sell that. Now you couldn't ship it because the thing is like 6 feet long.
That thing is
8
annoying.
feet long.
Oh my goodness. Anyway,
That's going in the bathroom of the garage condo.
I'm thinking if someone with the keys to that condo wants to get, or garage storage unit, whatever it is, wants to like make some money, they gotta have a good time in there.
No, it's gonna be in the garage condo bathroom. So when I'm taking a shower after I've worked on cars, I can gaze longingly at Jeff Gordon's gigantic eyes and his 2.5-foot head.
Well, he'll be gazing at you, so that's kind of creepy. That's all I have to say. That's creepy. Yeah. So why don't you tell everybody what today has been good driving road warrior material, and what did you listen to the last 9 hours?
Oh, I've been listening to Sean Ryan. I listen to a lot of Sean Ryan podcasts. He's really great. He's an ex-operator. An operator is a military term for special ops guy. He's an ex-operator, and he interviews a lot of people in the military community. And he was interviewing a guy named Tom Sattler, who was one of the guys from Black Hawk Down that survived.
Huh.
And today, actually, October 3rd, is the 30th anniversary of Black Hawk Down. Believe it or not. So it's the last time Tom will talk about it, because even 30 years later, and like 15 years of therapy, he just breaks down, and he has an incredibly difficult time talking about it because it was so horrible what they did. They sent bags of American soldiers' body parts in trash bags to the American base in Mogadishu.
Wow.
No, it was unreal.
Wow.
He can't take the garbage out and use a trash bag because he gets flashbacks. It's just a wild story.
That's amazing, huh? Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. So I'd kind of forgotten a lot about that story, and it was really, they go into so much detail. I mean, I think I'm 4.5 or 5 hours into it. It's just nuts.
Wow. Okay.
So,
okay.
So, anyways, well, I guess, we could yammer on about who knows what, but this actually hopefully worked out pretty good. Need a little bit of editing from the wonderful Nathan to get the audio part of this done, but we got 85 miles to go, which in a U-Haul means 3.5 hours. No, not quite. An hour and a half.
And our drink of the evening has been water for me. Iced tea, right?
Iced tea. And I drank too much iced tea, so my cocktail may soon become urine.
Yeah, my bladder was not, I don't know, you beat me today. But anyway. Yeah, so I will tell you next time about the podcast I've been listening to today, other than talking with some friends, is listening to Andrew Huberman, and it's fascinating. It's a diet, nutrition, physiology podcast with guest. I think it's a couple of years old, a year old maybe. With Dr. Norton. I think it's Lance. Is it Lance or I totally forgot his first name. Anyway, Norton.
Driving through some fog or smoke or something. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
Smoke.
And interesting talks. If you look up Andrew Huberman and Dr. Norton, who's a nutritional biochemist, fascinating stuff on diet, cholesterol, the gut, fiber, calories in versus calories out, and he really breaks it down and all the best practices. So I gotta finish it anyway. That's that. All right. So.
Oh, and then what's on the podcast tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow it was a recording that we did in conjunction with Rick Dancer, who we were partnering with monthly, trying to do podcast interviews. So Rick joins us for the first part of the podcast with our guest, Derek LeBlanc. And Derek is part of the Kids Safe program. Did I get that right? Talking about gun safety education for kids, and how it's a fascinating story how he felt called to help educate kids on gun safety, situational stuff. And it's not your typical hunter safety stuff. This is young kids, from ages 4, 5, and 6 on how to be safe around guns. Really good discussion, how he keeps it apolitical, how he talks to people that are scared of it. Yes.
Yeah, he kept it apolitical. Of course, I did not.
Right. So that's a really good podcast. I was blown away and surprised at how good that one was. Totally unexpected, and he has some good stories and has a really heartwarming story about positive outcomes from that program. So we hope you listen to that. I think Rick Dancer dropped the first part of it on his show tonight. So if you want to catch it early, tune in to Rick Dancer, Get Real with Rick Dancer. You can see it.
It was yesterday, but you can still watch it, or you can watch it from Rick Dancer's website, rickdancer.com. He's there for the first 40 minutes, and then we talked to Matt for another 25 minutes or so. It was actually way more profoundly good than I thought. I was like, yeah, gun safety, that's great. We all, learned that if you hunted or whatever. This was really very powerful. And we went down
Yeah,
a lot of
I
really
agree.
cool rabbit holes about just safety in general, situational awareness, trafficking, all this stuff that happens to kids, and guns are a reality, whether you like them or not. You have to deal with it. Just, sex, guns, rock and roll, substances, alcohol, blah, blah, blah. So.
Right. Yeah, just trying to ignore it doesn't mean it's still not there, just like everything else.
That's right. Exactly. All right. Well, I think I'm going to shut this off, and we will hopefully see you next Wednesday, and we will probably be doing the exact same thing from smack dab in the middle of the South, or at least Texas.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah, well, we'll probably be deep in the heart of Houston, which is the Gulf Coast, so we'll see what happens. All right, later, kids.
Now, a final word from our sponsor. At Pearson Rabbits, they understand that life can change in an instant. It's hard to imagine that a sudden illness, injury, or catastrophic event could put you and your family in a devastating financial situation. Physician-founded and physician-focused, Pearson Rabbits builds human connections before they create quotes. Visit www.pearsonrabbits.com today and embark on a journey of safeguarding your future. It's no secret that medicine is a bit, uptight. That's why Tim and I created BS Free MD, to mix things up a little and have fun in the process. Besides, we are having these exact same discussions all the time, so we thought we might as well invite everyone to the party. If you really like us, you can get plenty more and maybe see one of Tim's cool tattoos on our Instagram or Facebook pages at BS Free MD. See you next time.
While we try to keep BS Free MD as raw and real as possible, we can't be held responsible for any medical decisions or discussions had as a result of what you've heard on the show. We know, bummer. But the truth is, we really do care about your questions. So feel free to reach out to us by email at doc@bsfreemd.com.